Welcome to part 6. Please subscribe and like. Nneoma wept as Obinna prepared to leave. She begged the king and elders to let her stay with him until he came of age, but they granted her only 2 years. 6 market days passed, and then 5-year-old Obinna departed the palace with his mother, Nneoma, Kofi the warrior, and a few trusted servants. Their destination was Makonwo, a secluded land nestled between mountains and deep rivers, renowned for its gold and wealth. However, only a select few were welcomed there. Obinna was destined to grow up in Makonwo, returning home at 16. Nneoma stayed by his side for 2 years before returning to the palace, leaving Obinna in Kofi's care, accompanied by a few loyal servants. Yet, every full moon, she visited Obinna, marveling at his growth and progress in training. As Obinna grew up in a distant land, Queen Nneoma, the king's 3rd wife, gave birth to a son. The kingdom rejoiced at the arrival of Prince Kanye, named after his Yoruba heritage through his mother. However, the enthusiasm wasn't as profound as it was during Obinna's birth. The king was delighted, but many villagers believed Obinna's birth had paved the way for another prince. Unbeknownst to them, Nneoma sensed that Kanye's arrival would jeopardize Obinna's rightful place in the kingdom. After Kanye's birth and naming ceremony, the king began to rekindle his affection for Nneoma. He longed for her, seeking comfort in her presence day and night. Initially, Nneoma resisted, still hurt by the king's neglect during her pregnancy with Obinna. However, the king's persistent pleas and desire for closeness eventually wore her down. Though she couldn't forget the past, Nneoma guarded her heart, navigating this renewed connection with caution. Following Prince Kanye's birth, darkness descended upon the palace. Queen Nneoma's father, Elder Odili, once accused of plotting against Obinna's life, tightened his grip on palace affairs. Driven by ambition, he sought to manipulate the succession, eager to see his grandson Kanye crowned prince instead of Obinna. The king's affair with Nneoma intensified, becoming increasingly apparent to those within and outside the palace walls. Their love was undeniable, but it brought pain to the other wives, particularly Queen Nneoma. Rumors circulated among the servants that Prince Kanye might not be the king's biological son, but no one dared to investigate further, fearing Elder Odili's wrath. His reputation as a ruthless man silenced potential whistleblowers. Queen Nneoma's resentment toward Nneoma deepened as she watched her monopolize the king's affection. Nneoma's anger simmered, fueled by the perceived injustice. At 16, Prince Obinna had blossomed into a formidable warrior, honing his battle skills under Kofi's mentorship. His instincts sharpened, allowing him to sense evil lurking nearby. Elder Odili, aware of Queen Nneoma's growing unease, conspired against Obinna. He hired a native sorcerer from his village to cast a malicious spell against the young prince. As Obinna prepared for his return journey that night, he felt an eerie presence within his hut. Sensing the dark energy, he swiftly retrieved the protective bead his mother, Nneoma, had given him. Raising the bead, Obinna uttered ancient words of protection and wore it around his neck. The potent symbol repelled the malevolent spirit, banishing it from his presence. At dawn, the village priest of Makonwo summoned Obinna to his hut. "Obinna, a spirit of death was sent against you yesterday. I sensed its dark presence entering our village." The priest's grave tone unsettled Obinna. "Be cautious, for the battles ahead surpass those you faced here. Take this protection." He handed Obinna a small pouch. "Whenever evil spirits draw near, this charm will repel them. May the gods watch over you." Obinna accepted the gift, gratitude in his eyes. With Kofi and a few trusted servants, he bid farewell to Makonwo, setting out for the palace. As night fell, they arrived, the palace's grandeur illuminated by torches. Obinna's return stirred whispers among the servants. The king hosted a grand celebration to welcome Crown Prince Obinna back home. Elder Odili and Queen Nneoma were stunned, their faces pale with disappointment. In a private chamber, Queen Nneoma confronted her father, her voice laced with concern. "Father, did you truly cast the spell?" Elder Odili's expression remained unyielding. "Yes, I did. But it seems Obinna possessed a protective charm. Don't worry, now that he's here, he won't escape our grasp." Meanwhile, Queen Nneoma beamed with joy, eager to reunite with her son. She had prepared a lavish room for Obinna, adorned with intricate patterns and vibrant colors. His hut was stocked with fine linens, fragrant herbs, and delicacies. As Obinna entered, Nneoma embraced him warmly, tears of happiness streaming down her face. "My son, you've returned to me, whole and strong. The gods are indeed gracious." After the festivities, Obinna sought his mother's counsel, his expression grave. "Mother, I must tell you about the spirit sent against me in Cornwall. The village priest sensed its dark presence and warned me." Nneoma's eyes widened, alarm etched on her face. "What did the priest say exactly?" Obinna recounted the priest's words. By dawn, Nneoma summoned the chief palace priest, urgency in her voice. "I need your wisdom, father. Obinna has revealed a disturbing encounter." The chief priest listened intently as Obinna recounted the events. After deliberation, the priest's expression turned solemn. "I have divined the source of the malevolent spirit," he announced. "It originates from within our palace walls." Nneoma's eyes flashed with anger and concern. "Who among us would dare harm my son?" The chief priest hesitated before responding, the energy signature points to Elder Odili's quarters. "What must I do?" Nneoma implored, desperation etched on her face. "This evil will consume my son." "Do not worry, Your Majesty," the chief priest reassured. "Obinna possesses the protective charm, and Elder Odili will likely make another attempt. The most pressing concern," the priest continued, "is Obinna's impending introduction to the elders. After the 6th moon, your father will present him, signaling his transition to manhood. However, the palace's darkness runs deep," the priest warned. "Without potent protection, Obinna risks death upon ascension to the throne. To safeguard Obinna, the priest prescribed a daily ritual. For 5 moons, beginning immediately, Obinna must perform the cleansing ceremony. Every morning, before dawn breaks and the cock crows, he must bathe in the sacred river with this." The priest handed Nneoma a small pouch containing herbs and a vial of pure water. "Ensure Obinna follows this ritual diligently. The cleansing will fortify his spirit and prepare him for the trials ahead." Obinna rose before dawn, adhering to his mother's guidance. Beside the sacred river, he sat with the chief priest, surrounded by the serene morning mist. For an hour, the priest chanted ancient incantations, accompanied by the sweet fragrance of burning incense. The ritual cleansed Obinna's spirit, preparing him for the trials ahead. As the sun's rays touched the horizon, Obinna descended into the river's crystal waters. The priest's blessings echoed across the riverbank as Obinna bathed, washing away impurities and darkness. This sacred ritual continued unabated for 5 moons. Each morning, Obinna and the chief priest convened by the river, invoking the gods' protection and strengthening Obinna's resolve. The end of part 6.